Recap. Leon S. Kennedy was a cop that after surviving the outbreak in Raccoon City became a secret agent who was then tasked with rescuing the president's daughter Ashley from a cult group in Spain. Last we left off, Leon had just found this mysterious Spaniard in a cabinet. His name's Lewis. And go.
Feeble humans, let us give you our power.
So here, Leon and Lewis are being infected with the parasite, Los Plagas. That might not make sense because it does make people stronger, but the idea is that the people who are infected with the more dominant variant of the parasite, like Lord Sadler, the village chief, and Lord Salazar, are able to control people with the normal strain. The idea being is that by keeping Leon alive long enough for the parasite to infect him, they'll essentially have a secret agent who's working really close with the president who's completely under their control. The village leader, Torres Mendez, thinks Leon's just a threat though, so he's kind of trying to go behind Sadler's back and ultimately kill Leon.
Crawl out of one hole and into another.
You want to tell me what's going on here?
Basically, they just go over all the expedition we just talked about.
I think I might have seen a sample of the virus in a lab at the department. Do something, cop!
After you.
Now!
Hey Hunnigan, this is Leon. Oh, Leon, I haven't heard from you. Are you alright? You could say I was a little tied up. A civilian told me that Ashley's being held captive in a church. There's a secret passage in the village. I'm gonna go back to the village, go through that secret passage, and rescue Ashley. Peace.
Over here, stranger.
This is when we meet the iconic merchant. He's not particularly on Leon's side. He's not a good guy. He's just there to turn a profit for anyone who needs guns and has money.
Got something that might interest you. Got a selection of good things on sale, stranger.
I like how the screen is the merchant's belt buckle. That means that Leon is literally doubled over, like this far from the guy's crotch, waiting for the merchant just to rip open his robe. I mean, the guy's packing. You're liable to lose an eye like that. The merchant sells you progressively better weapons as you advance through the game. Plus, he'll sell you ammo for all those weapons, healing items, and weapon upgrades. So he's pretty much as useful as a trader NPC can be in any kind of game. If you want to play the game on hard mode, you can kill the merchant whenever you see fit. Personally, I don't recommend it, and I've never actually played the game through without him, but you can. So after talking to the merchant, Leon discovers that he had been dragged while he was unconscious to this mining outpost that was built on the walls of a canyon. It's actually one of my favorite maps in the entire game, and Leon soon discovers that there is a ridiculous amount of enemies here. I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't remember there ever being this many enemies in just one area of the game, but I always did play this on GameCube and this is the Wii version, so maybe they upped the ante since it's a little bit easier to aim with the Wii remote than the GameCube controller. I'm not sure, but if you're like me though, and you stash grenades like a squirrel looking for a nut, you can make pretty quick work of these guys. And as someone who basically never touches the shotgun besides those oh shit moments, it helps to have a full stack of shells for when you get to this part. You don't have to kill everyone, but they kind of soft lock you in the area. In order to get out of this area, you have to find 2 halves of the emblem and chest that'll unlock the door and let you leave this area. Moving along, Leon finds a bunker that's presumably part of this mining operation, and as you enter you can see a golden mask, and it's really important to pick up treasures in this game if you want to be able to purchase new weapons and upgrade them as you progress. Alternatively, you could just stick with 1 or 2 weapons for the entirety of the game, or save all your petas to upgrade one weapon once you've decided that that's the weapon you want to use. But if you want to be able to touch most of the weapons in the game, you're going to need to collect treasures and hopefully combine them so that way you can get the most petas possible. Jumping through this window and entering this room, you'll be met with some zombies, and some of them have dynamite sticks. And zombies and dynamite sticks kind of just take care of themselves. So if you just crouch behind this container long enough, they'll pretty much clear the room by themselves. Again, I don't see how giving zombies dynamite is in any way a good idea, because I thought the whole point of zombies is that they're physically stronger or more immune to damage. So why wouldn't you just let them do that? Why wouldn't you just let them run up and bite you instead of just giving them lit sticks of dynamite?
Okay, I've been bit, y'all. Yeah. Congrats, you did what zombies do. Oh,
Again, make sure to loot everything, including the scorching hot spinel. Now remember to grab the elegant mask that you saw on your way in before you get out of here. It's pretty easy to spot how to get to it. The important thing though is make sure you combine all the gems for each socket that it has, so that way you can get the most bang for your buck when you sell this thing. Now before you leave the facility, make sure to jump down in the water to kill all the fish. I think a flashbang will clear the whole room, but just to be safe, I just use my knife so I don't waste resources. The fish do take up a lot of space and they don't sell for a lot, but they are really effective healing items, so make sure you use them before you use your healing spray or anything like that. Exiting the facility, you'll find yourself climbing up through a well back in the village. I don't think that's what the inside of wells look like, but I genuinely wouldn't know. Before you progress, there's a couple of crows that you can take out. And by the way, if you messed up and didn't kill a crow, you can actually look up and shoot them out of the sky. It's just it's a little dodgy trying to get them to land in bounds and not to waste a bunch of bullets while you're doing it. But especially if you're playing on professional difficulty, those extra petas or handgun bullets might mean a lot. This is one of those games where there's a finite amount of resources, and once you're out, you're out. I think they might have changed it in the Wii version where if you run out of ammo, they'll find some way to give you just a little bit more. And for the most part, you can run past enemies, but there are some parts in the game where they just lock you in a room until you kill whatever you're in there with. So for those situations, if you get to that point and you don't have any ammo, you're pretty much screwed. As you move down the path, you'll find yourself approaching a mansion. You'll find this fancy door with a puzzle lock, and even though it's a ridiculously simple puzzle, in fact it's so simple I wouldn't even call it a lock, I would call it more of a doorknob. But despite that, I actually really like having puzzles scattered throughout my games. I think it's a big reason why I like this game and Legend of Zelda so much, is because they're just chock full of puzzles. The door opens up into this bedroom, and on a dresser in the room we find this insignia cube, which is going to give us access to the church. Watching this back, I just realized I missed whatever was in that desk, and I guarantee you I'm going to go back in one of my later videos and open that. On the bed we find a manuscript labeled Chief's Note. The Chief's notes expose that the village chief is not super confident in Lord Sadler's plan and believes that they should keep Lewis and Leon separate while they're being held captive, because if they end up working together then they could actually pose a real threat, but Lord Sadler believes that putting both of them in a vulnerable position is more likely to draw out a third party that's involved in this area. This is complete news to Leon, who up until just recently had no idea that there was other humans in the area, like the merchant or Lewis, let alone this third party who he has no connection with and has no idea what their motives are or who they are. Upon leaving the room, Leon is confronted by the house's resident. The chief, who makes an attempt at Leon's life, but then sees his eyes change, which is a good indication that he's infected by the Lost Plagueis virus, which gives the chief confidence in following Lord Sadler's wishes to keep Leon alive. But he does forewarn him that if he keeps meddling, he's gonna kill him.
You're an outsider. Just remember, if you become unpleasant to our eyes, you'll face severe consequences.
What? Same blood.
That's it for chapter 1.2. There's a lot of different pieces that Leon is going to have to put together in order to figure out exactly what's going on here, but ultimately his main goal is just getting Ashley and getting out of here.